Hi folks, Blake here. Hope you're doing really well. I'm back with another beginner's guitar lesson today. So I've been through various things in the past that you'd find useful, including where to find notes on the guitar fretboard, how to play the major scale and what notes are involved, and most recently, and probably most helpful for this video, I went through what chords are in the key of C major, the differences between them, and how to construct them and play the open chords on the guitar. In case you'd like to check out any of those videos, see the playlist and check the cards above. In this video, I'm going to go through how to play the other open chords on the guitar. I'll cover A to G and all the natural notes, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and I won't talk about the sharps or flats, which we'll do in future videos on bar chords. So in alphabetical order, here we go. Okay, so when we spoke about chords that are in the key of C major, I showed you how to play A minor, where we are playing the notes A, C and E. Now C is played because it's the minor third above A. Now what does that mean? It means that above A there are three notes between A and C. So if we go from A, which is the fifth note on the bass E string, and count up three, we go from A to A sharp to B to C. So three notes higher than A is C, which is called a minor third interval. And it's this minor third that's present in minor chords, giving them that sad sounding quality. Now remember, for A minor, as I went over last time, we put our second finger on the second fret of the D string, giving us an E note. We put our third finger on the second fret of the G string, giving us an A note, and we take our first finger and we put it on the first fret of the B string, giving us a C note. And so going down from the A string, we have the notes A, E, A, C and E, giving us our A minor chord. Now the difference between an A minor and an A major chord is that third interval. So we still play A and we still play the note of E. And between A and E, that's called a perfect fifth. So perfect meaning it doesn't change whether you've got a major or a minor chord. But rather now than playing the C note, we now play C sharp. So the major third from A here is 1, 2, 3, 4 notes higher. So this is a C sharp, 4 notes rather than 3 notes higher. So in terms of how we play that as an open chord, we go from our A minor here and we just take our first finger and we move it up from, instead of being on the first fret of the B string, it's now on the second fret of the B string. The problem is this makes it more complicated to play, so we change our fingers round, where we put our first finger on the second fret of the D string, our second finger still on the second fret of the G string, and our third finger now on the second fret of the B string, giving us that C sharp. So now playing the notes down, we have A, E, A, C sharp and E. And if you play them all together, don't play this thickest bass E string, but play the other strings, we got our A major chord. So if we make a comparison to the sadder A minor chord, you can hear the tonal differences. So here's A minor, you can hear it's quite down sounding, and here's the A major. Okay, so next up is B major and B minor. Now B is usually a chord that we play as a bar chord, which is something I'll go through in a future video. So I'm going to show you a slightly simplified version of how to play a B major and a B minor chord. And it's based on what we've just been over with A. So if we go back to our A major shape, now we know that B is 2 notes above A. So there's A, then there's A sharp between them, and then there's B. So 2 notes separate A and B. So if we go from playing A, but we just play these 3 notes that we've got our fingers on, what we can do is we can move these 3 notes all up by 2. So rather than playing the 3 notes that make up an A major chord, if we play them at the 4th position, We're now playing notes that are present in a B major chord. So the B here is the 2nd fret on the A string. So we can add this and add our 3 fingers at the 4th position. So the notes that we're playing for the B major chord that we've made are B, F sharp, B again, and D sharp. And then in this simplified version we don't play this high E string. So what you can do is use your little finger here just to slightly touch it but not press it all the way down, and then if you can hear that when you pluck the string it won't make any noise. So that gives us B major chord. And we can do the same thing that we did for A minor to make the B minor chord. If we do that again but we move everything up by 2 frets, so 4, 4 and 3 on the D, the G and the B string, but again we add our root note of a B, so the 2nd fret of the A string, we get this shape, and again we can try and silence this bottom highest E string. We're playing B, F sharp, B again, and then rather than D sharp we're playing a D. And when you play those together you get a B minor chord. Okay, now we're on to C. So again, in the C major video I show you how to play C major. So this time we're going to focus on how to play a C minor chord. So to go from a C major chord to C minor, we've got to again lower this 3rd interval. Now the finger playing the 3rd interval is this 2nd finger here. So this is playing an E note, this middle finger. And what we want to do instead is play an E flat or D sharp. So we want to lower this note by 1 fret. Now this would look like this, which is a very messy chord to play. Actually in this case a simplified version is just playing those 3 strings. So play the D, the G and the B string, and we just put our 1st finger on the 1st fret of the D string and our 2nd finger on the 1st fret of the B string. Be careful not to play the high E string here. And we just play those 3. Okay, so now we're on D. Now we know that D minor is the 2nd chord in the C major key, if you followed that video I've previously made, and we know how to play D minor, and that's like this. So we play an open D string, we don't play either of these top 2 strings, we then play the 2nd fret of the G string with our middle finger, the 3rd fret of the B string with our 3rd finger, and the 1st fret of the high E string with our index finger. So the notes D, F and A are what give us a D minor chord. Now if we're going to change this to a D major, we have to raise the F, remember the 3rd, from a minor 3rd, in other words 3 notes difference from D, to a major 3rd. So from D we have D sharp, E, F. Now if we wanted a major we'd have D sharp, E, F, F sharp. So we play F sharp instead of the F. Now in this chord the F is played here by our index finger, so we have to move it up to the 2nd fret. Again, this isn't the easiest way to play it, so we change our fingers around. We put our 2nd finger on the F sharp, we put our 3rd finger back here, and we put our 1st finger here. So our index finger plays the 2nd fret of the G string, our 3rd finger plays the 3rd fret of the B string, and our 2nd finger plays the 2nd fret of the high E string. And we still play the open D string, but none of these other 2 thickest strings at the top. It sounds like this. And again you can hear it's really bright and happy. If you compare that, here's the major and here's the minor. Okay, so next is E. Again, we know how to play E minor, and that's based on that C major video, so please check it out if you haven't already seen it. But as a very quick reminder, we play all the strings and we only put our first and second fingers on the frets. And G is the minor third. So if you count up from the open E string here, so the bass E string, we've got an F sharp and a G. So those three notes are what give us our minor third quality of that G. What does that mean then? Well, we know that we need to raise the minor third, as I've mentioned a few times already, by one note. So rather than playing a G, we want to play a G sharp. And in this case, with the E minor chord, the G is coming from this open G string here. So you take your first finger and you put it on the first fret of the G string to give us that G sharp. And you then put the other two fingers back, but you've changed them from your first and second in the E minor to now your second and third. So your second finger plays the second fret of the A string, and your third finger plays the second fret of the D string. Now F's an unusual example like B because it's not strictly an open chord in that we're not playing open strings. So for the F major chord, we're using our third finger to play the third fret of the D string. We're using our second finger to play the second fret of the G string, and then we're playing the first fret of both of the bottom two strings with our first finger. So how do we go from that to a minor chord? So again, as you know, it's the third. So there's our F major, and we know the only one we have to change is here, our middle finger. And we have to lower it down by one note. So the easiest way to do that is to take this middle finger off entirely and cover all three of these strings with our first finger. So we're playing an F, then we're playing, rather than an A, we're playing an A flat, then a C still, and then an F. Okay, if you're still with me, I hope you found this video really useful. Finally, we're on the G, so the last of the natural notes. Natural meaning not sharp or a flat. And here are the major and minor chords for G played in open positions. I said there was two ways to playing it. So one with both fingers here covering the B and high E string on the third fret, and one with just your little finger or your third finger, whatever you prefer, on the third fret of the high E string. So what about a G minor? Well, we want to take this shape and we want to lower the B from B to what would be a B flat. So the easiest way to do this is if we play the position where we've got both of our fingers on the bottom, then we get rid of this B here. So rather than it being an open B string, we're now playing the D. So remember, that's the perfect fifth that doesn't change. We're still playing the third fret on the bass E string here. All we want to do now is take our first finger, and rather than playing it on the second fret to give us a major G, we're going to move it down to the first fret to give us a G minor. So here's a G minor, and here's a G major. Okay, thank you very much for watching my video. I hope this helped you to work out how to play open chords on the guitar. With these chords, you should be able to play a lot of the songs that you listen to. So go and check out any tab websites, and hopefully that'll help you playing. Please like and share the video, it really helps me out. Comment if you think I've missed anything, and please subscribe to the channel and click the little notification bell, and then every time I release a video, which is roughly every week, you'll get notified. Thanks a lot, take care of yourself, see you next time.